Yeah. The day is finally here. Just got the alert. Breaking news. Ben Simmons possibly returning for Game 4 against the Boston Celtics. A team that is up 2-0 against the Brooklyn Nets, but now Ben Simmons may be returning. What does this mean, Ahmad? Should we be rejoicing? Should Brooklyn Nets fans be, happy? Should Boston Celtics fans not care? How should we react to the Ben Simmons news? How do you feel about it?
It may be too late by then.
Wow.
That's my biggest reaction. They're down 2-0. Who knows what's going to happen on Saturday? It may be too late. So he can come back in Game 4, but it may be too late. That's how I'm looking at it. It may be too late.
You think they might go down 3-0?
I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't think they was going down 2-0.
You thought they was going to take one at the crib? I get it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't, especially with Kevin Durant, the way he's been playing lately. I don't know.
But you know what, though? It could be. I know KD hasn't really been playing the greatest, right? But I think it's been a combination, you feel me, of great Celtics defense, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, it hasn't been the greatest performance with Kevin Durant. But yeah, I mean, the time is finally here, though. I mean, it's funny. I wonder what the overall narrative should be. Is it Ben's return and how he's going to play? Or is it more of, if the Nets fold in this first round, who is that a bad look on?
It's not going to be a bad look on Ben Simmons. Not at all. I
mean, not Ben Simmons, but I'm saying just the idea of this was a team that we thought was going to win a championship. 7 seed be damned.
It's bad. It's bad right now. But they need Ben. It's crazy because
it's not bad though. It's they're down 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, but it's just kind of like, I mean, the Boston Celtics, credit to Boston Celtics, they did what they were supposed to do. They protected their home court. So now it's up to the Brooklyn Nets to protect their home court. So we saw in the NBA Finals, the Bucks were down 2-0, won 4 straight. But it's hard winning 4 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It's very hard and very
Well, they got to
difficult.
win 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
And so, no, I'm just,
yeah.
But it's doable. And to your point, we've seen players do it before. And ironically enough, the players that have done it before, Giannis, yeah. LeBron, yeah. This team has KD. So it ain't like it would be a crazy task or a crazy request or something that we've never seen before. Now, again, give credit to the Celtics, right? They've been hooping, but at the same time, you can make the case that this could have been a sweep from the Nets on the other side, right? The Nets did lose by a buzzer beater in Game 1, right? The Nets were up a good amount of points, and they just decided to play like cheeks in the second half. So it ain't been 2 blowouts by Boston. Now, again, at the end of the day, they did win. I'm not taking anything away from them. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it and zoom in as opposed to zoom out, this series could be 2-0 heading back to Barclays.
That's a positive. That's a positive if you're in the Brooklyn Nets locker room. That's what you're telling your guys.
Of course.
That's what you're telling you guys. We could be up 2-0 right now. But at the same time, when we look at it, you're not. So it's just all that woulda, coulda, shoulda, this and that. All I know is you're down 0-2 and you're on the brink of elimination and possibly getting swept at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's crazy though, Theus, because I'm watching the game and it's just I'm looking at the Brooklyn Nets offense, and the person that they need is, ironically, James Harden. That's the problem. They don't have a playmaker. They don't have a guy that can set up others. They don't have a guy that can create for others. Kevin Durant has been phenomenal. He's improved his passing. He's averaging 7 assists since March. But the problem with Kevin Durant is when he gets blitz, he finds an open man, but that's not necessary. That's just finding an open man. That's not necessarily creating offense for others. And then you have Steve Nash that's not really calling any plays for Patty Mills, for Steph Curry, none of those guys. And basically it's heavy isolation. But the problem is it's hard to have an isolation offense if you don't have a true guy that can facilitate and create offense for others, like a LeBron, like a Luka, like a Trae Young, like a Chris Paul, like a James Harden. And for the Brooklyn Nets standpoint, they do got a guy that can do that and that can really help them, but he probably won't be available to Game 4. And then we don't even know how much he's going to play. So that's the problem with the Brooklyn Nets right now. Yeah,
and to your point too, with the isolation, they got KD playing damn point guard, and I get it. He's he's a scorer. He can bring the ball down if you have to, but that to me, that's not ideal, right? Being one of the greatest scorers of all time or not, you don't want Kevin Durant being the one to facilitate the offense and all that. I get it. You want to set high pick and rolls and all that, but at the same time, let's kind of mix it up. It was the same thing that I saw over and over, especially when he's struggling. Now, if he got it going and he done made 5 shots in a row, hey, let's throw the playbook out the window. But damn, like, you mean there ain't nothing else in the agenda? There ain't nothing else that was written on the damn whiteboard? Because it starts to get more and more predictable. And of course, you never give up on KD, right? At the end of the day, KD goes over 10 in the second half or whatever it is. I would still have confidence that KD can make the 11th shot straight up because he's proven that. But at the same time, like, shit, you doing the same thing over and over and over against one of the best defensive teams in the league. So, and on top of that, he's not having a great game. And on top of that, the momentum was in favor of Boston. So it's like, what would it take for an adjustment to be made?
Yeah.
It's like, you're right.
It's no ball movement whatsoever. And then when Kevin Durant has the ball, they're going to blitz him and get the ball out of his hands. And then when Kevin Durant is off ball, they're shading and they're basically got guys waiting to help as soon as he gets the ball off ball to collapse him. So it's just like, it's always 2 to 3 guys that's waiting for Kevin Durant. So if you're Steve Nash, you have to figure out, okay, we need some V cuts. We need to get some down screens. We got to like run some more sets because at the end of the day, you're looking very, very stagnant. Like,
that's very,
that's very, very stagnant. And that's the problem. That's the big issue with the Brooklyn Nets right now. Like I said, and Kevin Durant, he can play this dual forward role sometimes, but at the end of the day, like you said, his best attribute is scoring. You want him to score the ball. His best attribute isn't passing. And even if somebody would say his second best attribute is maybe his passing, I don't think that's the case. But even then, it's just kind of like, we know in the playoffs, what tends to happen is like you're gonna always revert back to what you do best, and that's scoring. So it's like he can pass the ball, but it's just like that's not his best attribute. So if he's not scoring the ball and he's struggling passing the ball, it's just like what can we do to like get Kevin Durant going?
We're seeing the power of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson right now. Now, I still think, of course, that this Brooklyn Nets team can win it. Excuses be damned, 7th seed or not. They're playing one of the best defensive team leagues. I don't care. You got KD and Kyrie Irving. Figure that shit out. But we are seeing how important Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson were to KD's success. Not to say that, he couldn't do it without them, but in terms of spacing, in terms of really giving him enough room to operate on the basketball court, because even with his time with OKC, not having all the shooters that he might have wanted, even to this series now. And, I would say this, it would have been nice if they would have had Joe Harris. Obviously, injuries, of course, ending the season kind of early, but I think Joe Harris definitely would have played a huge factor. But either way,
I don't.
In terms of spacing, I think so.
Especially last year. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that. Okay, I'm not even sitting here saying that they do
another shooter.
Exactly. You have another shooter on your team with Kevin Durant. It's not going to hurt. You feel me? But yeah, I think to your point, they need a facilitator. But again, let me not say need. It would help if they have a facilitator because I don't want to say a team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving need anything. Get the shit done. But it would help if they had a facilitator.
That's definitely real. And if they had Joe Harris, the same thing would be going on right now because they don't have like a facilitator. He'll be standing in the corner like they're not running plays for Steph Curry, not running plays for Patty Mills. Like they're not running any type of plays. It's like Kevin Durant dribble the ball up, isolation, blitz come, pass it to Bruce Brown, pass it to somebody else. Like that's basically their offense. So it's just kind of, I'm looking at like Steve Nash, who's getting out coached right now in this series. Like he needs to wake the hell up because at the end of the day, I don't care if you have Michael Jordan on that court. Like if they're blitzing you and they're to keep trapping you, and it's just kind of like there's no way that the coach can free you up to get you involved whatsoever, that is a problem. So it's just kind of like as great as you are, if you have a great philosophy, and that's what we were talking about, the whole concept of like, of versus Giannis and Kevin Durant, how I was like, they can contain Kevin Durant easier than people that can contain Giannis. And we're kind of seeing right now that they're containing Kevin Durant by blitzing him, throwing 3 guys at him, and then when he's off ball, basically shading him to the side of where he's on and making sure that, we don't care about none of that shit on the other side and what they're going to do. We're locked in on you. So that's what's going on with Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. And I mean, I think with Ben Simmons, right, even if he does play game 4 and he's inserted into the starting lineup, no one, of course, as usual, is going to expect him to score 30 or 40, but at least be a person that gets Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the right spots, right? Like take the pressure off them to not have to, set up the offense and score and look for other people to get their shot and all these other things. Like literally put, and that takes a lot, right? Like, I think the idea of Ben being able to just facilitate and focus on defense, that's going to help them out tremendously. Yeah. But again, it hasn't been lost. But no, I won't say it's been too late, because another thing too is the Celtics don't have Robert Williams. And so I know obviously the talk has been about Ben Simmons, but the fact of the matter is the Nets been without Ben Simmons all year long, right? This isn't something new. It's not like, oh, they need, what I'm saying? The game plan hasn't changed. The Celtics have been without one of their best defensive players, you know what I'm saying? A player who has played over the course of the season, and now they've had to make the adjustment during the playoffs, and they're still up 2-0, right? So, again, the series isn't over. For all we know, the Nets could come out and win 4 straight. But at the same time, we could get active and say Boston might get brooms out. I won't say that just out of respect for Kevin Durant and what he's done. But at the same time, they've kind of, I hate to say it, had him in hell.
Yeah, they had him in hell.
And again, that's not even a knock or shade to Kevin. Just when you look at it and even look, and watch this. When you look at it from everything, right? You argue how people just look at box score and numbers and analytics and all that. When you watch the game, when you look at box scores, when you hear them press conferences, like everything is to the Boston Celtics defense really locking him up. But again, I'm not gonna go against that team, that player, or Kyrie Irving until they lose 4 times in a playoff series.
You brought up a good thing where you said about like Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, and when Kevin Durant played with those guys and the spacing and the amount of like attention that they drew for defenses and stuff like that. But I also would say, like, credit to Steve Kerr, the ball movement of the Golden State Warriors. Like, it's 2 different offenses. Like, basically, Steve Nash is trying to run a Mike D'Antoni system without James Harden, without a LeBron, without a Luka, without a Trae Young. That's hard.
Or Steve Nash, ironically enough.
Or Steve Nash. That's a very hard formula to run, especially when you have your 2 best guys. Like, Kyrie Irving is one of the best finishers in the league. We know that. But Kyrie Irving is also a guy that likes to dance on you. When you run an isolation offense, you have to have one of your best guys be able to put constant pressure at the first level on the basketball court, attacking. That's what James Harden was best at. That's what guys like LeBron is best at. That's what guys like Luka Doncic, even Trae Young, like they get to the rim constantly. Their first step is crazy. So what that does, that collapses the defense. And then you have openings for Kevin Durant. Then you have openings for Kyrie Irving or Steph Curry. But it's kind of like when James Harden gone, they don't have that. And that's when, if Ben Simmons comes back, they're going to have that force where he can just get to the rim and suck the defense in, and then you kick it out to shoot and stuff like that. And that's going to take so much pressure off of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, because they don't have to have the ball in their hands constantly. But like I said, game 4, it's like, I don't know how many minutes Ben Simmons is going to play. I don't know. So it's a whole lot of things. It kind of gets like, it's kind of crazy that we may be, we may be coming to a 5-game series with the Boston.
Oh man,
I
thought, you're emotional with your takes. You let a couple of rough games. Damn, are you? You sound like you're a pro Celtics fan, man. This might be the first time.
No, pro Celtics. I'm a pro Tatum fan. That brother is lethal. That's another thing I told you. Like, Jason Tatum can go out and score. He also can go out and defend Kevin Durant as well. And then they can switch. So it's just like, then you got guys you can switch under the pick and roll, and Jaylen Brown can guard her, Marcus Smart can guard her. And then you're blitzing them constantly. So it's just kind of like they got guys that can play both sides of the basketball, and they also got like a great defensive philosophy. It's a read like the Miami Heat. But we talk about in the Phoenix Suns, like in the Milwaukee Bucks, like having guys that can do both, like 2-way players, is very, very great come postseason, because the game slows down, becomes a half-court game, and we're seeing that right now with the Brooklyn Nets. It's looking kind of scary.
Yeah, and they look fearless. They do. Like I think that's like we're seeing that stage where they're taking that next jump. And again, it's only been 2 games, but they look ready. They look ready.
JT is here.
Yeah. So, but we gonna see what Ben Simmons does, though. We gonna see. I know it's been a while. Folks been waiting. I've been waiting. I'm sure you've been waiting. But forcing for him actually might be a good thing in his case as an individual, that the Nets might be down 2-0 in a way. But we got another series I want to talk to you about. Bucks and Bulls. Bucks and Bulls. DeMar handing out 40 pieces on the road? Yeah.
He said he was going to shoot 6 for 25 again, and he backed it up.
Yeah.
And that's the confidence I like to see with DeMar, because historically, like, we've seen him like in the playoffs struggle, and then kind of like that struggle will continue on. But this is a new DeMar DeRozan. This is a more seasoned, more polished DeMar DeRozan. This is more confident DeMar DeRozan. So he's serious. He's a mid-range assassin, second-level killer. You know, Kobe, Michael Jordan disciple. Like, he's here. He's tough.
Yeah, and it's too, especially to see this happen in the playoffs. You know, like, I know DeMar has, received a lot of criticism for his, performances and stuff like that in the playoffs, but to know that you're going head-to-head against the NBA, the reigning NBA champions, and you still delivering on the road and in a very, very important game two in a series that a lot of people thought they would get swept. And a lot of people thought it would be brooms. And now you can make the case, the Chris Middleton injury is definitely sad to hear. But, who knows what's going to happen with that series.
That's tough.
It's so crazy now, Ahmad, because I wanted to bring this to your attention. I do not know. Well, let me not say I don't know. But the case for best player in the world is starting to get scary. And again, Giannis just only took one loss in this series. Kevin Durant is only down 2-0. Jokic, I know, they got clapped in those games in California. LeBron's not in the playoffs. Like, it's, I usually I like to say, like, all right, let's wait until the final. Let's wait to see who plays. But damn, we might not even make it to May without, the heavy hitters being there. And just based off the most recent games.
And we kind of talk that, and that's fine, to be honest, because that makes the NBA more exciting when the small market teams are being successful as well. Of course, you're gonna say, like, star power. We want the best guys in May and stuff. In the May and June. But I don't know. It's fine to me. I mean, we'll see. I don't think put it like this. I got to see how the Bulls play at home. Like, that's put it like this, because if the Bulls can at least split, then we have a series. Like, if the Bulls can possibly go down and lose both games at their home, then it's over with. So I look at the Bucks. And I look at, people talk a lot of shit about Chris Middleton. I've been a Chris Middleton supporter for years. And people always like to say, like, when he has bad games, oh, Chris Middleton, he's Middleton again. He's not doing this. When he had good games, they don't want to give him the credit. Like, his brother had a 40-point performance in the NBA Finals. Like, this brother is very important to the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But all I can say is, like, if people say that Giannis is the best player in the world, if people say that he's a top 3 player in the world, Chris Middleton, injury or not, show up, show out. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and we can keep going with it. I'm glad you mentioned that, because when Kevin Durant had to deal with injuries on his roster, people still expect him to show up.
He showed up.
It's very, very similar, right? Yeah. So what team is better? The team that Kevin Durant had to face and lose to in the playoffs, or the team that Giannis now has to face in the playoffs and in the Chicago Bulls? And so it's like, I still don't expect anything less, especially to
me either.
Like, get it done. Because the thing is, we thought, right, that Kevin Durant was the best player in the world, despite having the injuries on his team. And we still say, all right, that sucks, bro. Get it done, though. Giannis, if we gonna hold you to this standard and have these expectations, it is definitely unfortunate. It's sad to hear what happened to Chris Middleton in his injury, but hey, get it done.
Get it done.
It sucks. You want the crown? You want the title? Get it done.
Get it done. Especially when people want to really say about last year. That's a perfect example of last year where Kevin Durant had a hobble James Harden. And that's also why I don't like what's going on with people. Like, people are being sipping that sea sauce right now. That casual sauce. The sea sauce, the casual sauce. they're sipping that heavy with Kevin Durant. Like Stephen Curry is way easy to score when Stephen Curry is getting double and stuff like that. Like, we just didn't see Kevin Durant with tiptoes on the line, almost knock off the defending champs right now by himself. Like, newsflash, players struggle sometimes against great defense. We saw LeBron James have struggles with the Boston Celtics. We saw Michael Jordan have struggles with the Detroit Pistons. Like, we're seeing Kevin Durant right now struggle with the Boston Celtics. Like, yo, it happens before. Now, and I bring that up. Does that not mean that LeBron James probably wasn't the best player in the world because he was struggling with the Boston Celtics defense? No. Did that mean Michael Jordan wasn't the best player in the world because he was struggling against the Detroit Pistons? No. And even Kevin Durant, I'm not going to sit up and say, like, even if Kevin Durant loses this series, it may, like, you may have more questions about it, but I'm not going to sit up and say, like, yo, just because he struggled or if he loses a series, he played a great defensive team in the Boston Celtics, like, yo, automatically that just rips him for the best player in the world title. I don't know, especially if a guy like Giannis is to go out and like go to the finals or win a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so in a situation like that, it all depends too on like what the other people at the table are doing. If Kevin Durant loses in the first round, gets swept, losing in 6, whatever, but then Giannis also loses, then hey, who knows, right? But if Kevin Durant loses in the first round, gets swept, losing 5, 6, 7, whatever, but then Giannis makes it to the Eastern Conference, okay, that table might,
that's what I'm saying,
might get a little smaller.
Or my boy, like I told you, you was talking about, it's not at the table.
Who?
Steph Curry. Like, I've been saying Steph has been at the table. What is the Golden State Warriors go out and win it all? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, so we at playoff time now. So everything, you feel me? That's where the rankings get adjusted the most. You feel me? All that week to week stuff, MVP rankings, all that bullshit. Cool. Yeah. We in playoff time now. It's spring. It's spring. Where we at?
And speaking of MVP, it's a damn shame that that Joel Embiid not gonna win the MVP. It's crazy. Calling a screen for a center to hit a 30-footer game winner, like, that's tough. Like, he's tough. Joel is tough. Like, you calling a down screen coming off the corner in the fadeaway 30-footer. That's tough.
That's right. Give Doc Rivers his credit.
That's
tough. There you go. I know Doc Rivers gets shit on a lot every now and then, but you know, it was a good play call. He did what he had to do. He actually saved Joel Embiid in those last couple of seconds, because I don't know what was really going on in that last play before the buzzer beater. It was getting nasty. Had he not called that timeout,
Tyrese Maxey was a little out of out of his league a little bit going on that last second. He was kind of wild a little bit. James Harden fouled out. Tyrese was wild.
I'm talking about the play before. Wait, why did you say he was wilding? I'm talking about the play before.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, but Tyrese was wilding like the last couple possessions. Like, he was like doing some things like,
you mean like
bad shots,
plural.
Bad shots. Like, he had to play the point guard position when James Harden was out. It was looking like, thank God that James Harden came in and it's the point guard now, because it was just
I'm talking about the final possession before the shot. Joel Embiid had it damn near the damn 3-point line.
And that was a problem.
Holding it.
I think Tyrese Maxey passing the ball up there. Like, he was trying to get in the post. Like, that was also an issue. Like, come on, what are you doing? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what would you have wanted Tyrese to do though? That's
probably picking.
There was like 5 seconds left.
It was like 9, 8, and then probably pick and roll.
I don't think it was a hype.
Pick and roll. I don't know. It was just like, if that was, I just feel like if James Harden was in that situation, it would have been a little bit more different. Just put it like that.
But that's not James Harden. All right, so to me, it's like, all right, if you're Tyrese, right, you're a young player.
That's what I'm saying. He's young.
He's very talented. He's very talented. But at the same time, you also have the mentality of get the best player, right? Yeah. And then watch.
Clear out the way. Yeah,
you feel me? Yeah. But especially if we talking too about the time thing. Now, had there been 15 seconds on the clock, all right, we'll wait, let him get a better position. But if there's like 7, 6. I don't know if I'm gonna wait for you to get on a low block. Like, I'd rather give it to you higher at the top of the key with 7 seconds and wait till you get at the low block with 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then also
that was
too,
a botch. That was just a botch.
They both were kind of, they got kind of wild in that last play. But again, Joel Embiid ended up saving the day by hitting that clutch 3. Hold that. Let's go on. But Streets told me, this might be a Raptors series. That's what was told to me.
Yeah, I was emotional. You calm me down.
These emotions.
You calm me down when we was making a preview, because I was And it's crazy though. Even though like I was worried about James Harden, but James Harden, like I said, I think people gotta realize the James Harden era of him being Houston Harden scoring. James Harden is in his Steve Nash era. And it's 20 to 22 points per game, 10 to 11, 12 assists. That's what it seems like now. Until like maybe he'll get healthy and we'll see like in a full off season or whatever. Maybe he'll come back and show that he's still that he can be that Houston James Harden. But it's just like it seems like to me that like James Harden is in that Steve Nash era going forward. He's on the backside of 30, like he's going downhill, stuff like that. And then people talk about that Supermax contract. Do you give James that Supermax?
Absolutely.
I think you do because you're going to have to because you want to keep on to him, and also because you got Tyrese Maxey. And what did I say when James Harden first went to the Philadelphia Sixers? I said that Tyrese Maxey is going to help James Harden age more gracefully. So it's just like all that pressure to score, he don't really have to do that because he now has Tyrese Maxey. So
what you're saying is James Harden should slide Tyrese Maxey a bag because he's helping him look a little bit better. I'm with it. I'm with the donations. But yeah, I'm just saying. You feel me? If he takes the pressure off you still getting that bag. Hey,
all I'm saying is James Harden. We're in a new era with James Harden. James Harden is going to be valuable to the day he retires, but it's not going to be the James Harden that people are accustomed to. Hamstring, maybe hurting or not, or whatever people want to say, like if he's hurting this and that. I don't really care about that. All I know is like I know what I watch and I know what I seen James Harden in Houston, even last year with the Brooklyn Nets before his hamstring was got hurt or whatever. But even then, it was like starting to see like his first step is not as quick as it was even before the hamstring last year. But now this year we're seeing like he can still dance on you, he can still get by you at times. But it's like that first step, it's not there anymore. So like I said, we're entering the new Steve Nash version of James Harden. 18 to 24 points per game, 10 to 14 assists per game. And that's fine, especially when you got a Joel Embiid, especially when you got Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I was going to say too, I mean, we talk about the Steve Nash era or his time in the league. Like averaging 20 and 10, I'm not saying Steve Nash or even James Harden, but averaging 20 and 10 that's actually very, very good. Like, to do both, I know everyone wants, to see James Harden score 35, 40 points a game, but averaging 40 and 10 like he was doing in Houston. Do you not realize, like, that's not, like, normal, nor is it common. And I think that's good enough, to be your second best player or first best, whoever you consider to be on that team. That's good enough to win a championship, right? Like, but yeah, man, Streets told me that Nick Nurse will have a game plan for Joel Embiid. I was told that it would be the coach. And again, and I was on the same page. I understood why that would be said, but at the same time, Joel Embiid is still a 7-foot monster. Joel Embiid is still an MVP candidate for a reason, and I don't give a damn what X and O's you have. But let me not even say I don't give a damn what X and O's, because we've seen another series in that same conference where we might have said, "Yo, I don't give a damn what X and O's you have." This still one of the best players, and it's working. They down in that series. So
the only difference is like, we look at the defensive philosophy with the Toronto Raptors. They got players that can defend, but the only problem is like the Boston Celtics got players that can defend and score. Like Jaylen Brown can lock up and score. Like Jason Tatum can lock up and score. Like they got Marcus Smart can lock up like really well and shoot threes and pass the ball. Like they got players that can lock up and score and score at an elite level. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that Kevin Durant can do, Jason Tatum can do offensively, and then go out and guard Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and guard Kyrie Irving at times. Jaylen Brown can guard Kevin Durant and guard Kyrie Irving at times. The Toronto Raptors, they got Pascal Siakam can lock up and score. But after that, they got Fred VanVleet. He can lock up and score, but he's very small. So it's just kind of like they're still got some talent. They're going to develop and stuff like that. But it's levels when we talk about two-way monsters. And Boston got some two-way monsters.
Yeah, that's a good point. Be able to score and defend at the same time. Yeah, we tapped in good amount of the Eastern Conference.
That's all important. To be honest, it's crazy what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets right now. I am distraught.
But it's not though. Like to me, because if you look at what KD has done in the first two games, and you still have the mindset of like, yo, they still could have won towards the end.
Yeah.
That's actually a very, very, very good sign. Now, had KD gave the Celtics 40 in both games and they still lost, I'd be scared as hell.
But it's crazy. You know what? You're
Bruce
right.
Brown had the first 9 points of the game.
Yeah, Bruce Brown game. That's what people say. It's about to be the Bruce Brown.
You know what I'm saying? So, if I was a Nets fan, there'd be comfort in knowing that, all right, we might be down 0-2, but at least it came at the expense of KD not having a great game. That's not something that I would feel like, all right, that's not about to happen again. If I was a betting man, I probably wouldn't guess that Bruce Brown is going to score the first 9 points of the game, let alone for the Brooklyn Nets, but of the damn game, right? Yeah. Moving forward, the prediction on my end is that KD going at least return back to close to what we know. Yeah. It got nasty in that second half for him.
No, it was nasty, and I've never seen Kevin Durant's handle so loose like that before in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was just he was turning the ball over, his handle was losing the ball. He looked a little, shook, to be honest. But also, like I said, this ain't really the first time. We look at the grit and grind, Grizzlies, they used to give Kevin Durant hell. But you know what? He also had a player in Russell Westbrook, like I said, that could attack at the first level of the basketball court so viciously, you know what I'm saying? And also can pass. So Kevin Durant needs that, or he needs ball movement. He needs a player that can do what Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, LeBron James can do to help him out, or he needs ball movement. But this whole isolation shit that we seeing right now with the Brooklyn Nets, even if they go out and win this series, unless Ben Simmons is going to provide that first level threat on the basketball court, it's going to be tough because Steve Nash ain't really, he just, it's just the isolation.
Vibes. It's just vibes.
It's just vibes. It's just vibes. The isolation shit only works when you have, like I said, elite, players like James Harden, LeBron, Luka, and Trae. I keep saying it, Chris Paul. People don't understand how hard it is. People love to talk about that pure hooper shit. Oh, pure hoopers, yo. That pure hooper is scoring and stuff like that. It's easy to pass if you're a pure hooper. Yeah, maybe for a game or two, but not the whole damn entire series. Not the whole damn entire series. It's not. That's what I'm saying. People like to get caught up and say yo, Kevin Durant can play the dual forward position like a LeBron James and Giannis and Luka Doncic, where he can rebound, pass, or score, drop 40. But that's not his best attribute is scoring. That shit is hard. So it's just kind of that's what we see right now. It's hard to do.
And also, too, when it's not a heavy rotation of isolation players on the court, right? When you look, it's just KD, right? Because even but even though, when I watch it, right, they have Kyrie off the ball a good amount of times. It was towards the final minutes and all that. It was KD bringing the ball down over and over and over again. And it's yo, use Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? If you have Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, and you just say, you know what, toss out the X and O's, let's just run ISO with these guys and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is a very unique and special situation. That might work.
But if you don't have that no more.
You don't. In essence, the way they're playing, they really only had one. Shout out to Kyrie, but it wasn't like he was being used in a way of all right, Kyrie, dance. All right, Kyrie, just go get a bucket. It was yo, KD is going to try his best to score, and then Kyrie was there just all right, as a backup plan, as a what if, not as an A and B dynamic duo. It was okay, KD is going to try and score on this possession. If he can't, Kyrie might be there just in case. That's not going to fly. Again, we keep talking about the Nets, but especially against this specific team. And even if y'all go out and beat a great defensive team like the Boston Celtics, it's also not about to fly against the Bucks. So at some point, I know you can't just randomly change up your system and the way you've been playing all year long, but damn it, get the ball movement. You know what I'm saying? Start swinging the damn rock because it's gotten so predictable to the point now it's folks already know what the hell's going to happen and it's not working. It's not working. Sometimes some players are predictable. Some people feel like everyone knew what Michael Jordan was going to do, but they still couldn't stop him. So, it's one thing if everyone in the arena knows what you're going to do, but if it's not working, hello?
Like I said, people talk about pure hoopers, and you know me, I'm a skill first, talent first type of guy. You know me, where I talk about hoops. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to like create for others. And that's what separates certain guys from other guys. Like you can be a great scorer, you can be a phenomenal scorer. But if you're going to get stopped, and if you're going to get blitzed and doubled, and you're struggling and losing the ball and you can't create for others, then you have to have somebody on your team that can do that. And right now, you look at that roster, Ben Simmons hasn't played. I keep saying Ben Simmons can do. He hasn't played, so I'm not going to say he hasn't played. They have nobody that can do that right now. So that's the problem. But before we get out of here, I've heard all year how the Phoenix Suns, the best player on that team was Chris Paul. The best players, they had a great team, all this stuff. Devin Booker is out. Devin Booker is not going to play game 3 or game 4. I'm here to tell you, Devin Booker shouldn't have to play the rest of this series. If the Suns are what people say they are, they should be able to get past the New Orleans Pelicans without Devin Booker. Especially when like people are talking about Chris Paul is the best player. They're a great team. You know, Devin Booker is great, but you know, the Suns really have a great team. Like they'll still be great without him. Like, yo, okay, show and prove time. It's like, get it done. We talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and Chris Middleton, get it done. Same thing with the Suns. Like, get it done. I understand Brandon Ingram is lethal. I understand CJ McCollum is lethal. But yo, you're the number 1 seed. You won 60 some games. Like, get it done. Like all this excuses, like, yo, they may lose without Devin Booker. No, get it done.
That's kind of. I don't know.
Get it done.
I mean, if you're considering Devin, if you're considering Devin Booker their best player, you're considering Devin Booker an MVP candidate. Anytime you lose the best player on your team, that's going to. But I mean, they're playing a 9 seed, so maybe
they're playing a seed that shouldn't even be in the playoffs, like a damn 11 seed right now. That's 36 and 10 games under the 500. Like, get it done. Yeah, like, what are we saying? Like, come on now.
That's nasty.
Get it done. Now, Lord, no, they should be thinking, God, they ain't playing the Clippers and Paul George. They should be thinking Adam Silver. They should be, you know, Alice, I love this playing situation. Because Lord knows if they was playing against Paul George, it would in the Clippers, then you would have something to worry about. Then things would have got spooky real quick. Real quick, this.
You said they should have sent over an email.
We love this playing tournament. We love this playing tournament. Because things would have got spooky. It would have got spooky real quick. I know the Clippers lost and stuff like that, but like.
But no, Paul George is, you know.
Let's be honest. Like, it would have got spooky real quick.
Man,
real quick.
Thank you, man. You let us know if you need anything moving forward. You know, we really do appreciate the opportunity to play in this. But you know what? So does that say anything about the Suns? They go out and lose and
they better not lose.
Without Devin?
They better not lose.
Games 3 and 4?
They better not lose. They should not. They should come back to Phoenix 3-1. It should be no dog fight.
All right.
It should be no dog fight there. They should not be coming back 2-2 in Phoenix to me. I mean, having Devin Booker. That's crazy.
Okay. Well, right now they have the 2 best scorers in this entire series. So
the New Orleans Pelicans, yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So anytime you have that, I mean, it ain't a, you know.
So does
I don't think it's crazy.
So does the Brooklyn Nets right now. Monty Williams is a hell of a coach. They won the best defensive teams. Like, hell, they got Aiden was a number 1 overall pick. Chris Paul is, we talked about Chris Paul is just not like a guy that's just getting it done.
First of all, I'm not about to let you slide by saying that. CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram are not Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. That is not this, like, but I'm saying though, just like me saying that they have the 2 best scorers in the series isn't me saying that, like, okay, they're also similar to that Eastern Conference series.
No, I'm just saying that, like, yo, the Phoenix Suns need to get it done. They have the way better team. Way better team. Like,
even without Book?
Yes, even without Devin Booker, their team is way better. I think Brandon Ingram is the best player on that court now without Devin Booker. I think that's true. I think the New Orleans Pelicans had the best player right now with Devin Booker out. I think that's Brandon Ingram without a question. But if you look at team, you look at just like camaraderie, you look at like offensive sets that the Suns run. They got shooters. They got Mikal Bridges has been in hell because of Brandon Ingram. He's in hell right now.
But I mean,
like
all right.
It's like
I'm not gonna say Mikal Bridges has been in hell.
He's been in hell.
Well, even if he has been, it's not like
that's not his fault. It's Brandon Ingram.
Never, I'm just gonna. But I'm saying no. It's not like I was expecting him to give me 40 anyway.
No.
Like,
No, I'm talking about.
He's a damn defensive player of the year candidate. That's what I'm expecting him to do.
No. I'm not talking about offense. I'm talking about defense. He's been in hell.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, when I hear in hell, I'm thinking like, all right, he's shooting 2 for 20 from the field.
No. I'm talking about defense.
Okay, he's been getting cooked. That's okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay. Then yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's what, he's been hell of defense. Yeah.
If that's what you mean, okay. Bi's been getting active. Game 2 is crazy, but the thing is too, the Pelicans are playing very like calm. Like they really are playing as like they don't have anything to lose. They're playing as if like
they don't.
Like you know what I'm saying. And it's not to say that they believe that they can win, so that's what they're doing. It's like, yo, we can get swept right now, and no one is going to look down on us. Like the Pelicans could literally could have lost the first 4 games of the series by 20 points, and no one would have said, "You guys failed this season." No one so because of that, ain't no pressure.
Yeah.
The Suns just won 65 games, the most in franchise history during the regular season. They just lost their best player, MVP candidate. They just lost home court advantage, and now they still got the expectations of shit. We got to win the next 3. They got the pressure.
Next man up. They've been doing it all year. Book's been out. Chris Paul's been out. They've
been doing it all year. That was during the regular season.
Yeah, yes, you playing the damn 11th seed right now.
It's 11. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's no excuse. That team was 10 games under 500. Like, get it done. Get it done. I don't even like I said. It shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be a thing about Devin Booker having to return this series. In my opinion, like it should be like, yo, all right,
this should be the let him rest series. Yeah, it should be
like Devin Booker, get ready for the next round against Luka, because that boy coming. I expect the Mavericks. We talked about. I expect the Mavericks to be in the next round because the Jazz are the Jazz.
Oh, I just realized
he's coming. He's coming.
We might have the Jazz in the Western Conference Finals. You think about it. I'm saying that we might have the Jazz in the Western Conference Finals. Think about it. The Suns losing this first round because they acted nasty with it. Hey, hear me on this. Hear me. I don't want to hear it. We don't want it, but I'm just saying. Suns mess around and you know what I'm saying, act nasty and losing the first round. Pelicans on fire now. Pelicans play Utah in the second round. Utah's healthy. They got home court advantage. They were more proven than the Pelicans. They messed around, beat the Pelicans in 6. Now we got New Orleans versus Memphis Western Conference Finals. Oh my goodness, I just got nauseous. That is
Golden State.
Nasty work.
That's not
nasty.
I'm not a betting man, but that's not gonna happen.
You're ready, man. Hey, man, when we see a Utah Jazz versus Chicago Bulls finals, don't sit here and say I didn't warn you.
If Luka is remotely healthy, they may not win another game. If Luka is remotely close to 100%, they may not win another game, and that's just me being real, bro. It's Jalen Brunson. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson was giving them boys buckets, bro. Like
problems.
It's they Utah Jazz, and even if you talk about they make it to the Western Conference Finals, even if your little scenario came true with the New Orleans Pelicans, they probably win. I'll probably pick the Pelicans.
That's so crazy.
I'll probably pick the Pelicans. If we being honest, I'll probably pick the Pelicans, bro.
That's so crazy.
There's no way any scenario that you lay out that the Utah Jazz is going to the Western Conference Finals.
All right.
No scenario.
So you're saying the Pelicans could beat the Jazz in the playoffs?
If they beat the Suns, you think they're going to be scared of the Jazz? You think they'll be scared of the Jazz?
So who
if they beat the Suns?
That's so tough. Bro.
Come on.
Your faith in the Jazz, your lack of faith in the Jazz is crazy.
There's no way in hell that the Jazz are going to the Western Conference Finals. It's over with. It's over with.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. They in the playoffs.
I'm just saying. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, it might get nasty sooner rather than later. But yeah, y'all, housekeeping items as you already know. All right, 5-star rating. Leave it on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Appreciate all y'all. Let's listen in on Facebook. Subscribe to No Pump Fakes on YouTube. And of course, like I said, wherever you get your podcast. And enjoy these playoffs. All right, I know if your team is tied, it is what it is. If you're down 2-0, it is what it is. But it's the first one to 4. All right, don't forget that, y'all, because we done seen a lot of players, fans get all excited and shit after winning a couple games and then mess around and losing 4 straight. So, but yeah, just like that, we gone. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Theus McBee. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.